Okay, so get this right. Scientists are looking to peat bogs for new ways to fight tuberculosis.
Peat bogs.
Yeah. You know those soggy, kind of mysterious landscapes?
Right, right.
We're diving into a recent article. It's called Scientists Discover a Hidden Weapon Against TB in Peat Bogs.
Mm.
And trust me, this is way more exciting than it might sound at first.
Okay.
As you know, tuberculosis is a major global health issue.
Absolutely.
And finding new treatments is critical.
Yeah, yeah.
That's kind of what we're going to be talking about today.
Yeah, so what's really intriguing about this is that these peat bogs, they're incredibly harsh environments, right? Acidic, low in oxygen, full of intense competition. You've got fungi and mycobacteria, which is the family that includes tuberculosis, constantly fighting for resources.
So it's like a microscopic battleground.
Exactly, yeah.
So researchers went out and collected over 1,500 different species of fungi from these peat bogs.
Wow.
Talk about a field trip, huh? Then, back in the lab, they essentially pitted each species against Mycobacterium tuberculosis, like a fungal fight club.
And the results were pretty fascinating. 5 of those fungi actually proved to be toxic to the TB bacteria.
5 out of 1,500.
Yeah, that's a pretty impressive hit rate considering they were just pulled out of the muck.
Yeah, it is. Okay, so we've got our contenders, but here's where things get especially interesting, I think.
Okay.
Researchers narrowed it down to 3 key compounds produced by these fungi, patulin, citrinin, and nidulolin A.
Uh-huh.
And they all disrupt something called thiol homeostasis in the TB bacteria.
Okay, that's a great point. Now, thiols might sound complicated, but imagine them as kind of like the tiny but essential workers inside every bacterial cell.
Okay.
They're crucial for everything, from energy production and detoxification to repair and just kind of keeping things running smoothly.
So if those thiols get knocked off balance, it's like throwing a wrench into the whole bacterial machinery.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's precisely what these fungal compounds are doing. They're disrupting that delicate balance of thiols within the TB bacteria, essentially crippling their ability to function and survive.
Now, you're not saying that these specific compounds are going to be the next TB miracle drug, are you?
Probably not, no. They might be too toxic to use directly in humans, but that's not really the point here. What's truly groundbreaking is understanding the mechanism, right?
Okay.
This gives us a whole new way of looking at how to fight TB and potentially other bacterial infections as well. By targeting these thiol processes, we could develop a whole new generation of treatments.
So it's more about the strategy than these specific compounds.
Yeah.
It's sort of like learning a new martial arts move rather than just relying on the same old punch.
That's a great analogy, yeah. And what makes this even more exciting is that the environment where these fungi were discovered, the peat bog, actually shares some striking similarities with the conditions inside the lungs of a TB patient.
Hold on, you're saying those harsh conditions in the peat bog, like we talked about, acidic, low oxygen, are similar to what TB bacteria experience in the human body.
Precisely, yeah. The lesions that form in the lungs of a TB patient are also acidic and low in oxygen, just like the peat bog environment. So it's like nature is giving us a clue here, saying, hey, look here, this is how I fight TB under these tough conditions.
That's pretty wild. It seems almost too perfect, like nature's handing us a solution on a silver platter.
It really does, yeah. It highlights the incredible power of nature's medicine cabinet, I think. And to your point, one of the researchers in the article, they even said that these peat bogs are such hotbeds of competition that just studying this battle between fungi and bacteria could unlock major breakthroughs.
Makes you wonder what else might be hiding out there, you know? In these peat bogs or other extreme environments, is this thiol targeting strategy something that scientists have been looking at before? Or is this like a brand new avenue?
It's definitely gaining traction, I think. Researchers are really starting to realize just how crucial thiols are for bacterial survival. So the idea of disrupting that balance is becoming a very promising area of research, not just for TB, but for other bacterial infections too.
So this research is just adding another piece to that puzzle.
Exactly.
Showing us just how effective this approach could be.
And the fact that these fungi have evolved these complex ways of targeting thiols in such a challenging environment really speaks volumes about its potential. It's like nature has already done some of the heavy lifting for us, you know?
Yeah.
We just need to figure out how to harness it.
That's fascinating. So we've talked a lot about TB, but you mentioned other bacterial infections too. Could this discovery potentially impact how we fight those as well?
Absolutely. Remember, Thiols are essential for a wide range of bacteria, not just the one that causes TB. So if we can develop drugs that effectively disrupt thiol homeostasis, it could have implications for treating many different bacterial infections, even those that have become resistant to traditional antibiotics.
That's huge, especially with antibiotic resistance becoming such a global threat.
Precisely. And what's really promising is that this approach, it targets a very fundamental process that's common to many bacteria. This makes it less likely that bacteria will develop resistance to these new types of drugs.
Oh, okay.
It's like hitting them at their core in a way they haven't encountered before.
So what happens next? What are the steps needed to kind of turn this exciting discovery into actual treatments for TB and other infections?
Well, the first step is definitely more research, right?
Okay.
We need to really understand exactly how these fungal compounds disrupt thiol homeostasis in bacteria. What are the specific pathways involved? Can we identify other potential targets within those pathways?
So back to the lab for more experiments.
Exactly. And once we have a clearer picture of the molecular mechanisms at play, then we can start designing and testing new drugs that specifically target those pathways. It'll require a lot of collaboration between chemists, biologists, clinicians.
It sounds like a really complex process, but with potentially huge payoffs. It's amazing to think that all of this started with those scientists heading out to the peat bog, just curious about what they might find.
Yeah, it really highlights the power of scientific curiosity and just the incredible diversity of the natural world. I mean, who would have thought that a soggy peat bog could hold clues to new weapons in the fight against disease?
Yeah. It's a great reminder that there's so much we still don't know and that nature is full of surprises. Now, this study focused specifically on fungi from peat bogs in the northeastern U.S. It makes you wonder if there could be even more potent fungi or bacteria hiding in other peat bogs around the world, you know? Like they only explored one tiny corner of a vast hidden universe.
Absolutely, yeah. And that's what makes this so exciting. If we're finding these incredible compounds in just a handful of peat bogs, imagine what treasures might be waiting to be discovered in countless other ecosystems across the globe.
Wow.
From rainforests and deserts to coral reefs and, underwater volcanoes. There's a whole world of microscopic life out there that could hold the keys to new medicines and treatments.
It's mind-blowing to think we've only just scratched the surface. We often think of the search for new drugs as happening in these high-tech labs with, all this fancy equipment.
Right.
But it sounds like we should be looking to nature more often.
Exactly. Nature has been conducting its own experiments for billions of years, evolving complex solutions to all sorts of challenges, right?
Yeah.
We can learn so much from studying these natural processes and harnessing that knowledge to develop new treatments.
It's like have this giant library of potential cures just waiting to be explored. And it makes you realize the importance of protecting those ecosystems, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Conserving biodiversity isn't just about preserving beautiful landscapes or endangered species. It's about safeguarding a vast and largely unknown reservoir of potential solutions to some of humanity's biggest challenges. Who knows what secrets are hidden in those rainforests or coral reefs? We might be losing potential cures before we even know they exist.
That's a scary thought, but also incredibly inspiring at the same time. We started with peat bogs, stumbled upon these fungal assassins,
Right.
And now we're talking about the future of medicine and the importance of protecting our planet's biodiversity. What a journey.
It all goes back to that initial spark of curiosity, right? Those scientists who ventured into the peat bogs wondering what secrets they held, they uncovered something truly remarkable. I think this deep dive has been a perfect example of how scientific exploration, driven by curiosity and a sense of wonder, can lead to these unexpected discoveries with the potential to really change the world.
It really leaves you wondering, what other mysteries are out there just waiting to be uncovered? What other potential breakthroughs are hidden in plain sight, just waiting for us to ask the right questions, That's definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining us on this fascinating exploration of peat bogs, fungal warfare, and the incredible potential of nature's medicine cabinet. It's been a pleasure.